Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, love and light. Change is happening all around us, and sometimes we don't feel like we have any control over the outside environment, that we only have control over what it is that we do and how it is that we perceive. And that is absolutely correct. We only have control over us. But what we do have control over is how we respond to the changes that are occurring around us. That doesn't mean that we're going to stop change from happening or soften the blow or lessen the punch, because sometimes change does come with a blow or a punch, especially when you're manifesting a brand new reality, a brand new existence. You have to let go of the things that no longer serve you in order to allow room for your manifestation to fall directly into your path. So when you're looking at change happening around you, right, what you can be thankful and grateful for is that you're given an opportunity to be able to pivot your mindset, to change your viewpoint, to take a higher stance, to look at the bigger picture and see how you fit into that. And when I offer suggestions, it's not to tell somebody what to do, it's just so that you can prepare for what may come toward you. And when we're looking at our environment and we're looking at change and we're mapping out the stars and the planets and we're holding on to positivity and we're staying balanced and harmonized in ourselves, right? Allowing the wisdom, the knowledge, and the clarity to settle in to our energy to help us use our discernment and rely more so on the inner nudges that our inner knowing or higher consciousness, are guiding us toward. And I also know that affects everybody on different levels depending upon where you are on your life path journey. And I mean, after you've walked out of the matrix of limited perception and, limits on your capabilities or what you can achieve, right? Because we all lived in that space at one time. And when we not so much got tired of it, but when we realized that our awareness, right, was beginning to open up and allow us to completely understand and be very fully aware, like what's going on around you and how things are playing out and how it affects or interferes or propels you in your specific energy environment, right? So I've been given a bunch of different seeds, so to speak, that has enlightened me to a grander path, but it doesn't take as much effort. Meaning that one of my manifestations is to be able to make sure that the population everywhere at every corner of this earth, sadly, especially the United States, because the health benefits through food consumption is very low. And other countries have understood the value that fresh, healthy, well-grown food, provides to the human body, right? But you see, my manifestation has been, on a larger scale where I have a multitude of acres and the ability to seed and sow and provide healthy, structured nourishment that will propel the human body into, I don't want to say euphoria, but when you eat healthy, you actually have a very clear mind because there's no toxins, there's no pollutants that could pull you down to help you be more susceptible, if you will, to the thumb of who's ever trying to suppress. And that's a metaphoric phrase, because the suppressing thumb can come from any hand, anywhere, at any time. It's what you perceive as being crushing or propelling is where you're going to find yourself on your path. And if you think that that metaphoric thumb is crushing, then please reach out, because what I have is pure enlightenment that will remind your energy, your soul, your higher consciousness, through the resonances of what I say and what I send and how it affects you and your situation, to give you more highlights and more, clearer direction, right, on your journey. But I'm getting away from what I was guided toward. So the last few weeks, I've been learning a lot about how to sustain yourself in a healthy way, to be able to provide stability to your foundation by providing real nourishing, healthy food. So instead of doing it on a grand scale, which would still involve transport, right? Which would still cut down on the ability of what could be grown and safely, right? Health, with all the benefits, the health benefits, the nutrients, the minerals, right? Because sometimes there's a shelf life on that. So in order to get everybody the most beneficial nourishment, it's container growing. And we can do this right within our own home. So we don't actually have to have a plot of land. We don't actually have to have, things that are grand. But what we do need to have is the willingness and the ability to pivot and focus change on something that we can control individually, that will provide us the healthy benefits of proper nutrition, right? So I've been reading or learning, watching videos, regardless of, I research a bunch of different ways to make sure that what I'm being guided toward is doable. And from what I can tell, the Amish way actually has survived forever. I mean, I don't dig, them all the time in every aspect of how they think, feel, and, live, because the Amish, they don't like music. They don't like, certain things that, or taking pictures, really, even. But what I do know is that their ability to sustain themselves is ongoing. And they are doing it with the land and pure determination. So if we take potatoes, carrots, radishes, onions, healthy herbs, vegetables, and even fruit, and we incorporate the seeds, right? Because we want to start off with healthy seeds. So, and I know a seed, well, I don't know a seed bank, but I came in contact with the seed bank that I'll try to link to give, everybody the ability to receive healthy, nourishing seeds to create healthy, nourishing plants. And all it really needs is dirt, love, light, and the ability to pivot your mindset. Instead of thinking that everything has to come from a grocery store where contaminants are surely present, you can control the consumption that you eat by what it is you grow. And there's a lot of different things that could be done inside that has even more benefit to the individual than growing outside, because outside you have to contend with the elements and outside bugs and, you know, different types of ground soil and stuff. But you can control all that with a potted mix. And as long as you respect your potted mix and you keep nourishing it with nutrients that it needs, whether it be eggshells, coffee grinds, sometimes even a little bit of Epsom salt, you know, for the magnesium and stuff, you could really benefit from an indoor garden of eatery where it will provide to you nourishment by your own hand, and it could sustain you all year long, because there's things that you can do in succession. There's things that you can do like one right after the other. You could even use the same item like lettuce, right, or kale, and pick the outside leaves and leave the center to grow, to thrive, to continue to provide you the nourishment that, you know, some people find growing wild, you know, on land, and others have difficult maintaining, you know, proper growth, right? Like, no matter what you do, things just never seem to yield the way you thought they would, right? That's my problem. Well, that was my problem. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, my green thumb was upside down. And it wasn't really working to my best advantage. But that's because I was forgetting or not knowing that there are different tricks and trades that help the earth, whether it's a potted plant, like a container growth, or you're using your yard. And I fully intend on recultivating and rejuvenating my land in order to provide me summer nutrients, nourishment. I put them together, I'm sorry. And also to be able to sustain me through the winter months by learning how to preserve, dry, and extend the life of the items that, you know, Mother Nature gave us through determination and motivation to see them grow from a seed to our belly, so to speak, right? And I'm doing this. I am gathering the tools that I need in order to see this from start to finish. And what I look to benefit out of, you know, using container growth, right, to supplement my food, right, to provide to me the herbs, the vegetables, and even the fruit that will, you know, help me retain, keep, absorb proper nutrients, vitamins, and minerals without having to worry about chemicals or modifications to food, right, in order to make it more shelf stable, which kind of takes all the mother out of the nature, if you will, when you start adding pharmaceuticals, because they're pretty much all chemical based, and most of them have oil, like real petroleum, hard, dense, bottom of the barrel oil. Hey, you know, whatever, that's another topic, another conversation. But what I do know is that you can control your input by what it is that you put your mind to. So I'll continue to keep you updated and posted on the ability that I have in order to create nourishment from a seed and take it from container growth to a nourishing plant that produces perfect, balanced nutrients, vitamins, minerals. And it'll help me because keep in mind that not only will it help every single one of us if we do container growing within our own home, right, on our own land, if we can't use our backyard, right, or our front yard, whatever type of greenery that you may have. But you could also get rid of the deadly parasites that are living within your body that you may not even know is there. And pretty much everyone has the ability to obtain, inadvertently pick up a hitchhiker that you weren't aware was even there, that could be creating havoc within your body. So there's a lot of ways you could tell whether or not your cavity has been infiltrated by, a parasite. And when you start growing your own food, you can start incorporating the herbs that will help rectify these problems in order to leave your temple and your body in a better faceted place, in order to bounce back in a response mode and rid your core of what is trying to hold you down or fill you with toxicity. And it's everywhere. Sometimes we can't get away from it, but we can definitely control our own body by what it is that we eat. And when we grow the things that will help us live beautifully from the inside out, from the outside in, then those are really earth gifts that are providing us the ability to go backwards in time and regain our control as far as what it is that we consume and how we care for our temple and what we do in order to rid, negativity in whatever form from infiltrating our structure by hitchhiking maybe on store-bought food or improperly or contaminated by pollutants or toxins that, we're slowly eradicating and getting rid of by cleaning up the environment, by maintaining a mindful attitude that everything that we do to the land, we can either make it better or we can make it worse. And I choose to make it better. And I choose to invite that into everybody's home by reminding everybody that we have the ability to control more things than we thought we did. So certainly be mindful of what you eat and how you get it and what underlying toxins may be inadvertently clouding or obstructing your body's ability to receive the proper nutrients, vitamins, and minerals for proper health and restoration of your muscles, your ligaments, your tendons, your energetic connections, your link to Mother Earth and to the heavenly realms. And when we align our food structure with our mindset and our feelings, it gives us more of a frequency of higher vibration, allowing us more access to awareness, clarity, wisdom, knowledge, giving us the ability to utilize the benefit, and then through our example, teach everyone around us that the power and the control has always been ours. And when we call it all back and we rely on what it is that has always worked for millennium, and we get away from this understanding or forced idea, if you will, of society being hand-fed by a group of individuals that really don't care whether we live or die, as long as they've got money. I don't know how that's going to help them. But, you know, it is what it is. And I wish them love, really. Maybe they clip on to money because they don't really know what love is, but it's okay because I've got enough love to give and to shine and to keep everyone warm and bright, to allow your seeds not only to germinate and form into healthy nutrition, but for the seed inside of you to awaken, to bloom, and to add the beautiful benefit that you are here to provide. Whether it's through your hand, your touch, your heart, your motion, your devotion, your motivation, maybe even solutions that are beneficial for everyone, everywhere, making everything an equal playing field for everyone. Wouldn't that be awesome? When we help each other, we lift ourselves. Never forget that. So when you're thinking about what it is that you're going to consume today, will you be growing it in a container in your dining room, your kitchen, your living room, your back porch, your backyard? Or will you be going down the path of where convenience is, it outshines, or, well, let's just say the convenience of getting something that someone else decided that was good for you to eat really isn't a convenience at all when it hurts you. When you're ready to take a step into your perfect health, your best life, and seriously devote all of your effort to increasing your life, the way you live it, how you extend yourself, through the benefits, through the prosperity, the knowledge, the wisdom, the clarity. Everything goes hand in hand, and you'll soon see that with proper nutrition, that your body will start working with you and not against you. And your mind will free up of any cloud that could have been concealing or veiling your true steps. Chemicals were never meant to be in our body. There's that too. Whatever you do today, my lovely collective, I offer you light, love, wisdom, knowledge, and the ability to pivot and change positively to uplift you and your circumstances within your energy and your environment by using your mind and your ability to sustain the perfect life through the nutrition that you consume. Blessed be my lovely collective family. Light and love, love and light.